I guess what I want to do is apologize. And yet I don't know why. Isn't that crazy? I feel bad for the way I've come across and how obnoxious I've been and how I'm sure it sounds like I've been demeaning, and that's never my intention. And yet, somehow, I know that if I had been sweet and not blatant and tried to get you to pay attention, I don't think I'd have had as much success as I have. And I don't feel like I've had near enough. If I've been able to get just a handful of people, just even one person, to start from the beginning and to assess their beliefs and to go back and find out what they're founded on and check out what's available today. We've got people now like me that are truth junkies, and we're retired and we're finding things out, and nothing is as we've been told. My anger is not at you, not at all. I don't have a mean bone in my heart, and I can tell you that this is the very last assignment I would ever have chosen. All my life, I've been led by my spirit, and that's all I can do now. And I feel like I am, even though I'm this horrible, obnoxious person that keeps upsetting you in some crazy, crazy way. That's what I'm called for. I don't understand it. There are plenty of things that I could be teaching and benefiting people with languages and fossils and nature. I don't know. I don't. All I know that I've got to do what I've got to do. And the farther I try and run from it, the more convicted I am that I'm the one to try and get you to look. Look at what the biggest disappointment of my life, I thought, was finding out that the Bible wasn't what I was told. And then finding out that Jesus didn't have the history or had been a deception in so many ways. And digging back through language and history, and at the same time I was looking at ancestry. And so it all began to come together. And I figured out, because my son's family, the Savages, are related to Pocahontas and Tom Savage from the early days in Virginia. And my family is all related to, I think I've got 4 or 5 relatives that were at Jamestown. So I've done a lot of research there, and There's a lot you find out through ancestry, through personal old maps. And then I got into the old books and started seeing that we had been misled. Not easily found. I'm not saying that you could pick up a book and find that. That's not it at all. You have to dig it out. But one clue leads to the next. And it did that for me. And things just kept getting worse. I kept looking for hope to share. Once I found out that we had been so deceived, and I had done the history of this place where we live and found out that the paper was not what we thought at all. It was, a corporation. I thought we had someone looking out for us. No, we're working for someone. Yeah. And so one thing opened up, and I've got so much proof, but I have such ADD characteristics that I get hyper focused, and I dig, find all these things and mark them, and I never get them to the table to be able to present them in a way that someone could get it. And so I just keep harping on what I've found, and you have no idea. I mean, if I hadn't taken this journey, I would never believe it either. So I get it, but I don't know how to make a difference. And I know I'm called to wake people up, to be alert to who's making the moves. The biggest disappointment, other than my country and my Savior, is the fact that the people in charge have known for 50 years what we're headed into, but they haven't shared it with you. And the military keeps going. What we're faced with is a cyclical event that's happened every 12,068 years, and we have catastrophes cyclically. And when you look at the chronology and the timeline, it's undeniable. There have been many stories written about it. I actually read one online called The Cleft Hermetive, out of the Light of Egypt. There's a lot of old literature, most of which was used and plagiarized to create the Old Testament stories. The New Testament story, that was a complete satire, which I know it sounds crazy. I get it. But it's easy once you start following the breadcrumbs. And who would ever do this? Funny that we are able to do this because of the internet. And so the internet has definitely been, like everything else, a two-edged sword. It's worked for us and against us. Like Google offering everything free and collecting all our information, and information is critical to making moves forward for a corporation. And then, oh gosh, the list goes on and on. So it was vital for this country to be sheep. And they knew the nature of people. The more they gave, the more comfortable people got. And it was a process. It wasn't that they gave you everything, but they gave you things to make you comfortable and not take responsibility for going out there and taking care of yourself. And so we lost our muscles to survive out there, and they know it. And then every person that had an invention during the industrial age that didn't want to work with the team and keep the money in-house, got ousted, like Tesla, like so many. And then they chose poster boys. Those poster boys are the cooperative ones, that's it. And that's how I found out about the Bible, interestingly enough, which is a whole other story. But I've been some places. I'm 70, almost 71. I've been in the Salvador War when they were fighting, literally fighting, and stayed in the barracks. I've seen the propaganda. I've been on shows talking about things that aren't as they should be. I was involved with John Birch when they shot Larry McDonald down and worked with her wife and taught at the camp. I have deep patriotic roots. My family have praised Old Glory since they arrived in Jamestown, in Plymouth, all of it. And I'm on that list of Amaral or whatever it is, royalty, several times. So that leads me to believe it's a bloodline. That's what we see. But then we're all interconnected. But it's the people that founded here I see that are connected. And when I first found it, I was so proud and boasting and sharing, and I'm something. You'd have thought we'd have learned that. Well, we did learn it. My grandmother tried to tell us, but we didn't listen. But anyway, all that's come together. The real problem is that I've got to carry this sword, and I have to say that people like me, people that are uncovering truth and getting sickened more every day, and see how quickly things are evolving, and especially when we've watched and known people through the Holocaust, we are highly alerted that we need to be ready to take care of our own. And the actuaries just made changes. Everything is governed by the actuaries, the numbers, and they just started factoring in climate. So every property will begin to go down, especially the ones near the water. There's so many things that you need to know. And the biggest concern we're getting today, the influx, and I think that's one reason I'm so emotional. Indigo, I gotta say indigo, I just learned something about that anyway. We're getting the influx of the solar rays today, and that's why the weather is like it is where we are, because the influx was closer to the equator. Anyway, I keep up every day, and I know enough to be dangerous, but hopefully I could point you in the direction of someone who's taught me and someone who really knows, because I'm an amateur in all this. All I'm trying to do is what I feel called to do is put the puzzle pieces together. And honest to God, this is a spiritual journey for me. It's what I can't not do it. It's not what I chose. But indigo, at first I kept trying to find excuses for myself. Why am I this way? Even though I knew I had to be this way through my spirit was me. So I was this spirit that had always loved everybody and wanted to be so benevolent. what happened in me? Well, I was afraid when I found out about the Bible that there would be some secret somewhere, and it would be true. I just hadn't found it. And so I just was afraid to let go. And the thing I was afraid of was losing the anointing I had always felt, that spiritual inner person, and being led into everything, miracle after miracle I have experienced. And my spirit never changed when I got that truth, but I have felt more led, just not. I always thought I might be this spiritual person that God used to be a sweet angel. Be careful when you ask to be used. Do I understand this world? Not at all. But I do know one thing. I know what it isn't. And I guess that's what I want you to know. And I've tried to beat it into you because I feel like time is of the essence. Based on all the scientists, we are in deep water. And I know, dummy, I've got statistic after statistic. We don't know how long it'll take, but the main focus, the main concern right now, what can you do? What can you do? First, you can ask questions. Ask me, I'll do my best. If I don't know, I've got paper after paper after paper you can't imagine, and book after book that I've marked with important data. So if I don't know the answer, likely I can find it. And fortunately, I'm in a network of people who are just geniuses at what they do, at research. Often they're what they call pajama researchers like me that just have a passion, and this is the time that they've been called forth. So I know that the consciousness, the spiritual part, is undergirding everything. And there's no way to question that. But you've got to get with the program. You've got to start using your mind and go back to the beginning and just wipe the slate clean like you never knew anything. And then start learning and choosing who to believe and why. There's a foundation in all religion that's the same, and it's based on the sun, because everything we are into is the sun, and it's acting pretty ugly right now. So I guess that's my story, and I hope you listen to this and understand, because I feel like I've really been beat up, and I know I've asked for it. I don't know how else to do this. I've never done it before. I'm sorry I'm such a girl today. I'll get it together. Over and out. Thanks for being